Oh, hi, Mary Jane. Is it time for another Curator's Chat? Welcome again to another Curator's Chat here at Behringer-Crawford Museum. My name is Jason French, Curator of Collections. Today we thought we would talk, we were talking around the office about what we could share with you this week. And we realized that just in a few weeks, on September 18th, is Ask a Curator Day. So then the discussion was, well, what would we ask a curator? And I'm a curator, so I'm not real good at asking myself questions. So I thought that Mary Jane could ask me some questions and share them with you. And if these are questions that you were curious about, that's great. And if you have new and different questions, fill them in the comments below, and we'll try to address them in a future video.
Thanks, Jason. Our first question is, what is a day-to-day like routine for you as a curator at Behringer-Crawford Museum?
Well, here at Behringer-Crawford, I am fortunate enough to actually get to do a lot of different things. So not only do I take in artifacts and care for them, try to preserve them, maintain them as best as I can, and then I also build exhibits. We tear down exhibits. We're constantly engaging with our collection in different ways. For instance, just recently I was dusting a Civil War drum that we have on display. And as I got close enough to it, because it's usually pretty high up and on display, I realized that there was writing on the head of the drum that I was unaware of. And there's someone's name. So I started to research that. That's been a fun side project for me. And that I work a lot with interns and volunteers on a day-to-day basis. And they help me facilitate all of these experiences.
What do you love most about your job?
I love getting to experience history in a tactile and a tangible way. So often in our lives, we may read about the past in books. We may occasionally get to go to a museum and see something that existed in the past with glass in between us. But as a curator, I get to touch bits of history on a daily basis. And what I love is I try to share that with the public. Maybe not this bit of history, which is a roll from a player piano, but other items that I feel and deem that are safe for the public to experience under my eye, and with often me having them in my hands. I love bringing a tactile experience to the public so that they can experience history like I do, because I feel very privileged to do so.
What is something interesting about you that others might not know about you?
I don't know how many people in this medium online are aware that I have a visual disability, and it has been limiting in my life quite a bit, actually. At one point in time when I was young, I had even went to a school for the blind, and I wasn't able to have a driver's license until I was 35 years old. So some of my day-to-day life as a curator and some of the things that I do can be very difficult for me. But that's also when we have a disability or we have something that we've lived with for a long time, it helps us and it forms the way that we are and who we are as a person. And my experiences as a historian, as a curator, I realize that the others that came before me, the people who created these bits of history that I'm so fortunate to experience, they also had things that were stumbling blocks or got in the way. So for me, it's very much part of being human, and it's part of our story.
And one more, what's your opinion on this question? Do museums exist merely to interpret the past or also to change the present?
That's a very interesting question. It's one that's actually pretty recent in the discussion in museums. Are we here to interpret, as you said, the past and kind of share the past and our understanding of the past with the public? Or are we going to use the past in kind of an activism way for the future. And I think that it can be a little of both. I think, at least from a history perspective, we've not, our understanding of our own history is a lot weaker than I wish it were. As a people, as a culture. And it's important that we find ways to engage with a modern audience so that they can better understand the past. And if you understand the past, that helps us understand and create our future, because we're so cyclical and intertwined in society. It's a very interesting notion. So in some ways, interpreting the past to the audience also helps us change the future. But, you know, it's really, it's something that a lot of us are passionate about, and there's probably a lot of argument